Welcome to Decoding with Darcell, where I use Afro-numerology, a system I call the numbers, to bring context and receipts to the world around us. Today we are decoding Donald Trump and his administration and the root to this work. Before we can even get into Donald Trump, we must understand the sacred count of America. I calculated it from the day America was made official, which is July 4th, 1776. That brings their sacred count numbers to 7, 4, 3, and 5. The most successful figures in this country all have numbers that align with the count of America. Now, that does not make them evil. It does, however, make them in alignment with the spiritual architecture of the United States. But I did my math. I ran the numbers. And all of the presidents since the 1900s all align with the sacred count of America. 7, 4, 3, and 5. The one exception was President Herbert Hoover, who was the president during the Great Depression, when everything fell apart. We start with the birth gate number. This is a number that speaks to how an energy enters into the world. America entered with a 7, meaning that America was born under the illusion of enlightenment, religious rhetoric, cloaked in intellectualism, and a so-called divine right. This makes America obsessed with land and walls and labor. This is the spirit of productivity, of colonization, of enslavement, and of redlining. This requires control in order to feel safe. The ancestral current of America is a number 3, the lineage influence and what their ancestors want them to do. So that number 3 is tricky because in light, it's joy, it's expression, it's a voice, it's storytelling. But in the position of America, it's marketing, it's narrative spinning. It's the lie told over and over until it becomes the truth. It's the cheerful cover-up, the founding myths, the melting pot of illusions. The divine mission of America is a number 5. This divine mission is what Spirit is pushing them to do and what it must evolve to. 5 as a divine mission for America means that America must evolve. It must free itself from its own constraints. It must welcome diversity and inclusion and movement and freedom. So America going against DEI is America working against its own divine mission. America is supposed to become a living embodiment of change. Now, for Donald Trump. His sacred count is 652, master number 22 or 4. And I like to honor both meanings. That is the number of grand systems, grand institutions, and legacy. America's soul nature number is 4, which means that Donald Trump's life purpose and divine mission is in alignment with the soul essence of the United States. So let's talk this 2024 election. 2024 was the universal year 8, which centers authority, power, money, and business. November of 2024 was a universal month 1, which speaks to initiative, bold leadership, and the beginning of new cycles. The United States was in a personal year 1, and November was a personal month 3, which is the number of performance, media, communication, and emotional persuasion. During the election, Trump was in a personal year 1 in alignment with America's personal year 1. He was also in a personal month 3 aligned with America's personal month 3. This made him a full body match for America's energetic frequency. Kamala Harris was the sacred counterweight. Kamala Harris was in a personal year 11, which is the number of the prophet, the visionary, and the revealer. She was also in a personal month 22, the month of the election. However, that master number 22 was coming through a spiritual gate, not a material one like Donald Trump. 11 is about intuition and divine insight. Master number 11 is about spiritual insight and divine guidance. That master number 22, in her case, was not about power. It was about laying the spiritual bricks, even if she wouldn't occupy the house. She was there to bear witness, to illuminate, and to warn, not to dominate and win. And this brings me to this revelation. While I was sitting here decoding Donald Trump, the Spirit said, yes, decode him as a person, but you need to decode his entire administration. And I did. Due to the inauguration date, Donald Trump's administration carries the spirit of 3. This number 3 is the same as the ancestral current of America. This is the energy that has ruled the land since colonization. This is the number tied to narratives, manipulation, theater, and image. I need y'all to really get this. It is no coincidence that the divine mission number of the Trump administration is 3. And it is directly tied to the ancestral current of this country, which is also number 3. This means that the mission of this administration is to be the continuation of their ancestors. This is not just about politics. This is about possession. The energy that is backing the administration is their founding father patriarchal as ancestors. To be exact, the patriarchal spirits that pillaged, enslaved, raped, lied, and erected supremacy on this here indigenous land. This is why they chant, "Make America great again." What they mean is, bring our ancestors back. It is an energetic signaling. It is the summoning of white forefathers, of supremacists, and the old gods of this empire. And we wonder why the Trump supporters seem so erratic and brainless and confused. Because they're not thinking with their own minds or speaking with their own tongues. They are under a spiritual influence. We wrestle not flesh and blood, but principalities and wickedness in high places. The high places is the family tree. And this is why, with that number 3 ancestral current that seeks to be the rewriters of history, the narrative changers, they are the ones that crafted the lie to begin with. And now they're trying to retell it by erasing our truths and their sins to glorify them as saviors. 3 is about messaging, and their ancestors were the masters of messaging. Trump and all of these people are puppets for the energy of their ancestors. And just like an ancient evil spirit, once it's done with you, your body starts to break down. Hence all of the sudden news reports of his body and his mind breaking down. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act was signed, dare I say ritualistically, on July 4th. The same date tied to the signing of the Declaration of Independence. It is spiritual alignment, and whether they know it or not, a conjuration of their forefathers. Trump himself is in a number 2 year. This is exactly why he moves like a manipulator and spent this entire year forming alliances. And in this month, he is in a personal year 2 and a personal month 9, which is why all of those relationships that he was building have failed. In particular, the breaking up of him and Elon Musk on July 1st. And now the breaking up with him and his own supporters. You see, he doesn't know that he was simply a pawn in the game. And there is a greater plan to get him out of the way and position the people that are necessary to finish the mission of the fathers. His administration is in a personal year 3, full of spectacle, media distraction, and emotional theater. Based upon these numbers, I have made a list of what we can expect from Donald Trump this year and what we can also expect from his administration. From Donald Trump, strategic silence, letting others speak on his behalf, forming powerful alliances with unexpected players, playing victim to gain public sympathy, using softer voices, i.e. women, to represent a family value and to push harmful agendas, i.e. his press secretary. Emotional manipulation disguised as unity, quiet influence in courts, education, and economy, and political chess moves rather than checkers. From his administration, remember that number 3 energy. Heavy use of media and propaganda, emotional appeal through religion, patriotism, and nostalgia, theatrical speeches and visually dramatic rallies, celebrity alliances and influencer partnerships, policies packaged in entertaining or emotional ways, performative unity while sowing division underneath, control of education and arts, hello, Kennedy Center, censorship disguised as safety and values, spotlighting heroes to distract from harmful policy, and creating enemies and scapegoats to rally supporters. So that combination equals a year of chaos, of clever distractions, and big changes. But the intention is to manipulate emotions and bypass logic, to use unity language, to repel dissent, to promote laws that favor control under the guise of freedom, to rewrite history and education in favor of themselves, and to turn culture into a weapon. Why were they attacking women? Okay, well, let me tell you that. The womb is a spiritual gateway where souls enter and spirits return. So when a group starts controlling the womb, banning abortions, forcing births, and erasing autonomy, they're trying to control who gets born, especially considering that white women are the most to get abortions. They push the narratives of replacement theory and of greatness loss. They believe that every womb is a vessel for them to insert their power. More bodies for their cause, more vessels for their souls, and more opportunity for old spirits to come back and finish what they've done. So, Darcell, what must we do? Guard your mind first. This is a game of psychological and emotional warfare. You must guard your mind like a sacred womb. No seeds of domination will take root in my thoughts. Smudge the head with rosemary, with eucalyptus for clarity and cutting through mental fog. Keep the ori clear and calm and level with coconut oil, coconut water, cooling herbs. And to my root workers out there doing prayers and cord cuttings, you don't need to work the person. You need to work that spirit. Cut the cords of the supremacist ancestors. Don't target the puppets. Target their ancestors who oppress and enslave, because those are the energies that's doing the work. Sever them from that administration. Sever them from this nation. Sever them from you and your household. Do prayers and protection work over the womb, because your womb is not their battlefield and your body is not their portal. Keep the home cleansed. Lemongrass, camphor, salt, and vinegar, and create you a floor wash. Pick up. Don't allow space for those spirits to live. Bury the patriarchy. Take a piece of paper and write out all of the systems of oppression and bury it in hard, rocky, dead soil. And tell them, your rule ends with me. I will bury your influence forever. May your tombstone become your head and let it never let you get up. Be very distinctive with the ancestors that you call. This is not the time to call on the ancestors that were easygoing. These are the times to call on the ancestors who were liberation centered by any means necessary. Focus on the children. Anoint their heads. Fill them with ancestral truths. Cleanse them. Create mojo bags for them and put it in their backpacks. Sow herbs into their clothes. Watch their clothes in your fiery protection oils. Fast from harmful media. Reprogram with music, art, and books from Black liberated minds. And reclaim and proclaim your right to be divine and free. And now to the patriarchy, hear me and hear me good. To the old spirits that try to haunt us and this nation, you can't win. Because your hands are dirty and your spirit is crooked. You can't win because the land rejects you. The wombs will not welcome you and the veils will not hide you. You can't win because we remember and we reclaim and we rise. You can't win. Not this time. Not in this realm and not over these people.